Hey everyone, welcome back to my Halloween edition reviews, season 2, number 2. Uh, this game, it's not as scary as the second one, but come on, it's the first one, so you can't really say much when it's the first game. You gotta give your 2 cents in somehow. But it is still really creepy, but the reason I'm not reviewing this on Halloween like I did with Fatal Frame 2 is because I want to end October with the Halloween films. So I'm doing my review of this uh, tonight. I'm doing this really early. At least I consider it early, 6:47 p.m. Um, there are a lot of people who have heard of this game, but almost everybody I talk to about it, they're like, "Oh, that's stupid. Ugh, that can never be a cool game. That can never be a fun game." Play it before you judge. When I was a kid, I used to judge stuff like food and like every kid at least judged food before they tried it. Like they don't like green beans. Of course, I love green beans. Give me some of those, and I'm set. Uh, put a little salt on it. uh, anyways, I didn't judge Fatal Frame 2 when it came out. Well, I didn't judge it because when it came out, I still had no clue about it. And then one day, one of my mom's friends decided to buy some stuff, and he bought me Fatal Frame 2, which I no longer have on PS2. But thankfully, I found the director's cut on Xbox. That's one of the big reasons I got an Xbox. But this is the PS2 cover, and this we put the head just a little bit higher and a little to the left or right, and you'll get the cover of the Xbox version. And instead of it being red letters, it's blue. Blue letters. Like blue letters, and then they're kind of white at the same time, and then it's got uh I guess you could call it a white aura. Uh, and the big thing about this one that catched a lot of people's eyes was, hopefully you all can see that, based on a true story. The only true thing that I can think of that's in this game is the house. Because apparently there is a house by the name of Himuro Mansion. Granted, I don't think it's haunted, but some people say otherwise. And actually, there was a gimmick uh, surrounding the release of this game, from what I'm told. Uh, they before they released it, actually, as they released it, they had a release party over in Japan, and they gathered gamers all from Japan, and pretty much it was a focus group. They got to go inside a haunted mansion, and whoever stayed the longest won some amount of money, kind of like in House on Haunted Hill, but not nearly as spooky. Uh, like, I don't think the original House on Haunted Hill is spooky. I mean, it's got some creepy parts, but anyways, they played the game, and they had to play it in the dark, and for something of a teen rating for a game, this game is one of the coolest teen rated games I've ever played. I beat the game 3 times, and I was hoping for a different ending, but apparently there's only one ending, so it doesn't really get much replay value unless you want to unlock some stuff like nightmare mode, which I'm still trying to do. I'm still trying to unlock nightmare mode, and I'm playing it for the fourth time. And by the way, this is my only complaint with the game. It's not even about the gameplay, it's not even about the game itself. It's the save feature. I don't mind the saving in front of the camera thing. Those save points, I don't mind those. But there's only 3 file slots. That would mean if you had more than one friend, like maybe 2 more friends, they'd be able to play on their own file. But when you've got like 5 different friends, or 6, maybe 16, depending on if you're like an awesome person, which I think almost everybody's really awesome if they're nice. But anyways, uh, this game, yeah, your weapon is a camera. And I'll actually show it off since I got this brand new for $30 on Amazon. My friend got it for me as a birthday present last year, anyways. Not actually the year before. Okay. Japanese names. Ah, here we are. The camera. I would love to get a merchandise for this game. Like, if there is any Fatal Frame merchandise out there, like t-shirts, uh, memorabilia, hey, maybe even like a Fatal Frame mini game on the internet. But I own all 3 Fatal Frame games, well, all of the games that were released in America. But please, please, Nintendo, could you please release it in America, Fatal Frame 4? Because I want to play that, and I don't care if it's on the Wii, I'll just be happy to be sitting down or standing up and playing it. Because you, when you want to fight monsters, you raise the camera like this with the circle button, and you wait for the chance, for a shutter chance to happen, so the filament loads up, and then you press R1 or X to fire, and you'll be able to hurt the ghost. Uh, as far as haunted house games go, this one is really cool. Uh, I love haunted house movies. Like I said, House on Haunted Hill I didn't get creeped out by. And House on Haunted Hill, the 1999 remake, kick ass. That's one of my favorite movies. If you like haunted house games and not haunted house simulators, Juwan, I'm talking to you now. Nope. Nope. You're not a scary game. Juwan, the haunted house simulator for the Wii. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. Ah, save me. I don't like that game. I thought it was annoying, and I thought it was a piece of shit. How I played it, my friend likes to import things, and he's got, I think it's a region-free Nintendo Wii, or hell, it might even be the Japanese Wii. Uh, but anyways, he's got the game, and he wanted me to play with him, not because he was scared, but he just wanted someone else in the room to check out the game instead of it just being him. So I checked it out. It looked cool until I started playing, and I was just like, Oh my god, how the Japanese video games have fallen. Uh, Virtua Fighter is Japanese. Almost all the fighting games are Japanese. But this is as Japanese horror as you can get for uh, a video game. Yeah, Silent Hill was originally based out in Japan, but they transferred it to America, and I was so glad because that is one of my favorite game series. And here's the thing, I can't choose between Fatal Frame and Silent Hill because they're both pretty damn creepy. But which one creeped me out the most? Out of the Fatal Frame series, Fatal Frame 2. Out of the Silent Hill series, Silent Hill 2. And out of the Resident Evil games, Resident Evil 3 creeped me out the most because when you're running away from Nemesis, it's like you're running a marathon trying to get to one part of the level to the next, and you're like, ah, I did it! And then you crash land into the ground, and you've got a giant worm chasing after you. I am still trying to get past that worm. Mm, why this is teen rated? It says for violence and blood and gore. There is gore. Like, you actually got a ghost coming after you, walking like this, and she's got her mouth open and no eyes. Like, they're stitched up. Like, they're holes, but they've got stitches over them. And I'm just like, I had the lights out and I had the volume up. And when she goes, my eyes, my eyes, my eyes. And she grabs you and tries pretty much holding off your circulation and trying to kill you by cutting off your circulation. That's how all the ghosts try to kill you, except for the final boss, which you see the final boss throughout the game. And a thing I hated about Fatal Frame's final boss philosophy, if that makes any sense, final boss mechanics, they always want it to be a one hit kill sort of thing. Like, you have to hit this ghost over, uh, I counted about 35 hits because I was using some of the weak film because I ran out of the Type 35 and Type 0 film. But I didn't get annoyed as as much as I did with the first one. Like, the first one, you've got the ground and everything shaking, so you're trying to focus the camera and your controller's vibrating, and you're like, what do I do? And it's in black and white. What is it with the Fatal Frame series being not only a one-hit kill, but also being in black and white? Do they think that's scarier? Although it is really creepy, it's not the scariest thing. Like, I've watched a bunch of black and white movies, Nosferatu being my favorite vampire film, uh, which I'd like to see. I'd like to actually play Nosferatu. Not the one for, I think it's for the Sega Genesis or something like that. I don't want to play that one. I want to play the PC game. For those who have never heard of the Nosferatu game, check it out. They've got a demo for it. And yes, it's free like most demos, so for those stingy with their money, you've got a break. Play the demo of Nosferatu. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I'll read the back. Scariest game ever, says James Melky of Electronic Gaming Monthly magazine, features revolutionary harness audio technology. Experience the thrills of surround sound without the expensive 5.1 speaker setup. Original battle mechanics. Miku combats spirits by sealing their souls in an antique supernatural camera. Frightening game atmosphere, unsettling environmental sounds, mumbling ghost chants, and a shocking storyline all add up to one of the scariest gameplay experiences on PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system. Force feedback user interaction. Feel Miku's heartbeat quicken in the palm of your hand as the controller shakes when tension mounts or ghosts approach. Then here's the synopsis. Unravel the mystery. ... Based on a true story, Fatal Frame is a survival horror game which immerses players in a world full of supernatural spirits and mind-numbing terror. Guided by her uncanny sixth sense and armed only with an antique camera, Miku sets out to solve the mystery of her brother's disappearance. As the story unfolds, she discovers ominous details about the Humura Mansion's troubled past. The property and surrounding area have a dark history involving grisly murders, an evil cult, and restless spirits. This very realistic survival horror game will shock you, and the constant feeling of terror will keep you up at night. What a mouthful. Oh, and here's that ghost I was talking about with no eyes. Hopefully you all can see that without the stupid glare. I love the ghosts in this game. My favorite one... I don't know if I have a favorite one. I guess the ghost that's looking for his head is pretty cool. Because whenever he's around, he'll say, "Where's my head? Where's my head?" And that to me was just creepy. Granted, the blinded ghost is creepier, but I just think that the headless man is one of the scariest ghosts I've ever seen. Because not only does he not have a head, he's asking you to look for his head, and then he tries to kill you. And I'm just like, wow, some friend he is. Fatal Frame, the first one, is about not a sister, a woman by the name of Miku, like it says in the back and in the manual. She isn't the most liked person at school. When she was a kid, she wasn't liked at school by many of the peers she was with. And the only one that could really calm her down and be her friend was her older brother Mafuyu. Now, in the first part of the game, which the first part is only like the intro, and it's like a maximum of 3 minutes long. I did the speed run for the intro part. I do not have video of the speed run though, but I decided just for the hell of it, go ahead. I counted about maybe 5 to 6 minutes because I actually did horse around at one point, just gawking at the ghost, just looking at the art design and whatever, and then I pretty much in my head was speeding up everything, and the run system for these games, oh, how I can talk about these run systems. This is not a complaint for the first game. This is a complaint for all 3 games, other than the one-hit kill boss. The run system isn't even really a run. They just move a little faster. And it looks like I'm limping a little bit. But what can I say about Fatal Frame? The storyline is cool. Miku is trying to find her brother Mafuyu, and when she enters the mansion, she doesn't have the camera unless you beat the game. Uh, she doesn't have the camera, and she ends up finding it right where the Mafuyu segment ended. And you look in the mirror, and there's a ghost right behind you, and I'm like, this is gonna be a fun game. And we do see this ghost. We see this ghost. We see that ghost, the man with the long arms, or the long armed man. Koji, trying to get it out there. And I forget the name of that one. He pretty much has no legs, and he's pretty much a spinal cord, just floating around with his arms out, and pretty much a generic ghost. He's like, boo. And there are jump scares in this game, and I'm not the biggest fan of jump scares unless they're done right, and Fatal Frame did it right. Silent Hill did it right. Well, Silent Hill didn't really have jump scares, but Manhunt had some jump scares, but that's not survival horror. I guess it is horror if you want to count killing people as a horror game, which I kind of did with The Darkness, but The Darkness is pretty damn creepy. Like, I'm not scared of the game by any means, but that game is just fun, and I think it's got a dark atmosphere. That's why I put it as survival horror. Um, this game, the storyline for it is pretty damn dark because it constantly the Mimos are talking about uh, the priestess who will keep the void of the malice closed. She'll keep the door closed on the malice, which is an evil monster, which is the final boss. Uh, and Miku is pretty much led on by, hopefully you all can see that, led on by a little girl by the name of Kiri. And Kiri, some kids in some video games annoy the crap out of me. Laura didn't bother me in Silent Hill 2. I'm trying to think of some. Sherry from Resident Evil 2 didn't annoy me. And Kiri didn't annoy me. Like, she was trying to help you out. Granted, at the beginning of the game it doesn't seem so, but she ends up pointing to a door, and this is what I mean by she doesn't really help you. She leads you to a door that has your first real ghost in it. And I'm like, ooh. But there's a reason. And I won't spoil the reason, even though it's not a big deal. Kiri, both as an enemy, because there's two sides to Kiri. I won't spoil the second side, other than the fact that she is creepy. Like, I have my eyes open wide right now, and I say she is creepy. Like, I'm quivering underneath this mask. Do I say purchase this, rent it, or just pass on it? Come here. Come here. I say purchase it. It's definitely worth playing. It's definitely worth owning. And it's definitely worth your time and money. Now, $35 is a little steep, but get it for $25 because I think they lowered the price on used Fatal Frame copies and lowered the price on new Fatal Frame copies on Amazon. So pick this up. It's a great way to end Halloween. Next to watching the Halloween films, play this. Play this while you're waiting around popping the popcorn for the Halloween movies. This game is great. The third one, not as creepy as the second one, and the first one, not creepy as the second one either, but like I said, you can't judge it since it's the first game in a four-part franchise. Four parts so far. Uh, anyways, the first one is scarier than the third one. The second one is scarier than the third one. The third one, where this is Fatal Frame, this is Fatal Frame 2. Fatal Frame 3 is just below the first game, so it's still pretty scary. But again, with the one-hit kill bosses. Why do you do this to us? Yeah, it might make the game tougher, but to most people, it makes the game more annoying because you've got to be quick in order not to get hit by the monster or ghost or demon, whatever you want to call it. And the thing you'll know about all three Fatal Frames, the main character, especially the main character, are female. Fatal Frame 1, you played as Mafuyu in the beginning part, but throughout the entire game you play as Miku. Fatal Frame 2, you play as Mio and Mayu. Mayu, when you're just about to find Mayu, uh, she goes into pretty much just walking around following the Crimson Butterfly, and then when you follow to a certain point, you're back to playing as Mio. I love the second game. It's one of my all-time favorite horror games, and this is one of my all-time favorite horror game series. Then we get to Fatal Frame 3, which I won't give away any names considering it tries to tie up both of the first two games together and incorporate its own storyline as well. Miku is in the third game, and I think that is kick-ass because we've got a returning character. And we see Mio and Mayu in the game through flashbacks, so that's kind of cool, which, if I didn't show it off already, I got this for Christmas, not last year, but the year before. No, actually I did get this for Christmas last year. I bought it a couple days after I bought my PS3. Well, I didn't buy my PS3. It was a gift from my mom and dad. But I bought this with the Christmas money I got, which was a good $50. 30 of it went into this game. So by the end of the night, I had $20, and you know what I did with that $20? I bought lots of candy. So I had a rotted mouth for Christmas. I bought 3 movies: Ghost Rider, Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 3. Yes, I will. I know Spider-Man 3 is an abomination. They ruined Venom in the worst way. And they pretty much fucked over the Spider-Man fans as well. Because Topher Grace just does not work as Venom, and they turned Venom into a wuss. But here is the third game. I'll review this probably in November. Maybe even in December. I have played and beaten all 3 games. Which one has the most replay value? if it's for costumes and getting music and stuff, well, all the music is unlocked when you beat the game. Uh, Getting other difficulties, go for this one. If you're going for different endings, get this one. I got the different ending. But here's the thing. Fatal Frame 2 had 4 endings, which I only have 3 of those endings. And Fatal Frame 3 has 2 endings. And Fatal Frame 1 has 1 ending. Why does 3 have 2 endings? And why does Fatal Frame have it? The ending pretty much makes the game pointless when you come to think about it. But hey, the ending might be the most important part. But as long as you had fun playing these games, then I can excuse the ending. And I had a hell of a time playing these games. Mm. Would I ever, if like the true story of the ghosts were real and the way they were killed with the camera, a certain camera, would I like that? Yes and no. The yes aspects, I'd be able to mow down so many of those ghosts, and I'm not free falling here, and I'm not saying uh shit and not backing into it. But I think I played these games enough to know exactly the weaknesses of each ghost and the strengths of each ghost. And the long armed man, his weakness was children. Pretty much. Like it was both his strength and weakness. Um, the blinded woman, her weakness was the eyes, but her strength was latching onto a person's heart. Because she puts her hand into your chest. Uh, and how she's able to hurt you, even though you can walk through her most of the time, how she can hurt you, but you can't hurt her other than with the camera, is pretty damn cool because these are actual ghosts. Like, you feel like you're about to believe in ghosts. I never believed in ghosts until I played these games. Like, I know about uh, a spirit might get lost in pretty much limbo or whatever, but then there's just plain ghosts where they're not doing it for revenge, but the bad ghosts are just there doing whatever, and the good ghosts are just waltzing on by, not knowing that they're dead. And that's what each of the Fatal Frame games do. Like, you'll see ghosts that are just walking around, and they're not doing anything to you. So why why not do just a pat on the back? Well, your hand would go right through, uh, and they're just minding their own business. But you can take a picture and it won't hurt them because they're friendly ghosts. Not Casper the friendly ghost, but they're friendly. Like, they're not there to hurt you. But anyways, when it comes to scares and stuff, get all 3 games because each of them have their strengths and weaknesses. Uh, the weakness of Fatal Frame 3 was it's creepy. Well, that's pretty much the strength. It is creepy, but The weakness is it's the least terrifying of the three. Of the four, if I can ever play the fourth one, I would love to play it. I would love to play that game. And price is an issue for me. Like I said, I will only go as high as $35 unless I have more than $35. I'll go ahead and buy a game for, let's say, $43. I'll buy a game for that price. Hell, I did for a graduation present, and it wasn't worth $40 what I paid. It was worth a good 20. But anyways, that's my review over Fatal Frame 1. What do I give it? I don't hate any Fatal Frame game. I give it about, if not a 7, definitely a solid 8 out of 10. Because the reason that it's not 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 is because the game is a little short. Yeah, granted you can go into the challenge rooms, but the game is short. The second one is probably the longest one. Nope, I take that back. The third game is the longest one. Even though I've never played part 4, it looks like that one would be a pretty long storyline too. And hell, the trailer for the fourth one reminded me a little bit of a certain game called Cold Fear. Because I swear there's a part in the trailer where she's on a boat. And every time I think of a horror movie on a boat or a horror game on a boat, I immediately think of Cold Fear. And that's not a bad thing because I like that game. But definitely check this out. If you've got a PS2 or PS3 because it's on the PSN store, you're doing yourself a disservice by not picking up this game. And for $9 you can't complain. $9.99 on the PlayStation Store. So what have you got to lose? And the second one is on there too. Granted, it's not the director's cut, but at least you get the first one and second one, and possibly the third one if they ever do it. But anyways, that's my review over Fatal Frame 1, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.